Abusia and the Supreme Court to call Assetna Assetna Coil. A year Attorney General, former Attorney General, Godfred and a lawyer and a Mami Tokono. Now, you know, it's a consultation process and almost beginning with the State Council. Now, with the intention of what to file application, what injunction on the consultation process, according to the interrogation between the Godfred and from the media. And obviously the consultation process is when the application has been filed, because application are filed senka oma accept anka Supreme Court accept here anka consultation process anka it cannot be ongoing because it constitutional and democratic state anka they will abide what the Supreme Court or the High Court says. But in terms of say Supreme Court are rejecting the application to hold the consultation process and a confedame ekase and a chrono on my day. They didn't even show up. All the state attorneys and a buyer and on my day on my forget us and as my boycott you so my drop your seminal. So a year on what unannounced it. Interpretation correct take Godfred from his own mouth. You are Deputy Director of Operation Mustafa Bandi. Same no me in Mustafa Bandi. You go change some more kind. God bless you. Stay tuned.
Of course, quite odd for him to say that state attorneys conference and for all the cases that come to the attorney. He is not a state attorney. They cannot come to court. The matter is important that the removal of the Chief Justice. They couldn't come or instead the Kesi to report the attorney. The Deputy Attorney also not a state attorney. They couldn't come. What makes it more odd is the fact that they send state attorneys, not even one but two senior state attorneys, to come inform the court that they are at a conference, and so the matter should be there. That is all.
I mean, we know the consultation process are ongoing, and that is the process that you wanted to hold. I mean, that's some repercussions in that they could come to the prima facie determination while you wait for the hearing to take place.
I don't answer the question.
The question is that you are trying to halt the consultation process that are ongoing. While the case has not been fixed for hearing yet, there is a possibility that that consultation process could come to a conclusion. Is that not what you are trying to halt?
Well, there's an application for Injunction pending. So why would anybody proceed? I'll find it quite interesting and quite odd. It would be the height of a disregard for the rule of law if they proceed in that manner.
So as far as you are concerned, you expect the President to halt the constitution of the Council of State while this is pending?
It's not my expectation. It's the expectation of the law. The law expects that such regard for due process be observed. And so it will be actually a confirmation of their disregard for the rule of law. And I think that if you see the affidavit filed by the Attorney General.
I mean, there are those who have made reference to the fact that in that affidavit, he makes the point that there is no law that requires a fair hearing to be given to the Chief Justice. And there are some who are also saying that even under the previous government, the President gave a hearing after he had referred the matter to the Council of State already. I
would say that the Lord has a fine way of exposing the hearts and desires of men. The Lord has an interesting way of exposing the hearts, the true desires of men. And indeed, it's been evidence in the affidavit filed by the Attorney General. They did not intend to accord any right of hearing to the Chief Justice until the matter was filed. And they indicated it in the affidavit. So it's quite clear. Okay, I'll leave it at that. The merit determined by the court will argue in court.
And then what was next is to get the cars to move. So we requested for the suspect today, the individual in question. And the feedback I got was that anybody who came up, they were going to shoot the person. And so we called for further reinforcement with the military.
The security guards?
Yes.
Armed, which itself against the law.
Okay, so we then started searching all the apartments, and then we got him at one floor, and we arrested him. Now, the story that Ibrahim Mahama came to intervene is untrue. Most people live there. And so Ibrahim Mahama heard of the disturbance happening there because he's a resident. So he drove straight to the place only to see that we were there. So he called me outside and asked. So I explained to him at that time, we were about moving Mr. Peters to the police station. It was in the grips of the police officers. And so I explained to him. He greeted Benedict. Of course, they are friends. And then he drove off.
It's not the case that Ibrahim Ahmed has been the one that reported the matter to National Security.
No, it's never
for them to come clear whatever blockage that had happened.
Not at all. National Security didn't take part in this operation at all. Just as we had finished arresting him, the regional police commander also arrived with the divisional commander, and then they took over the matter. And so Benedict was sent to the regional police commander. Of course, if you arrest people of this nature of crimes, once you have arrested a person and it's a bailable offense, it's within the discretion of the police to bail the suspect for further investigation to continue. So he was given an inquiry bail in the evening, I think around 5, thereabout. My interest...
What about the 30 individuals, personal security personnel that were also arrested?
I was told this morning that they were all granted bail yesterday. The most important thing is that they've been arrested. One, no individual has the right to build a private security reinforcement to that magnitude.
And then holding arms and threatening to shoot anybody who came closer.
We were told so, but I didn't see it. Even without arms, you don't have the power. Nobody in this country. It's just because we have allowed everybody to do what they want. Without Ministry of Interior permitting, you cannot organize any security force in this country. You can't. Let alone acquire police sirens onto vehicles and pickups and give it to this man. We are in a terrorist state?
Official police vehicles.
Pickups.
And you've established that these pickups belong to the Ghana Police Service?
No. Private, individually acquired pickups using sirens. Don't forget that we have laws in this country against individuals and private individuals using sirens. In fact, the law actually stipulates persons or government agencies who are allowed to use sirens. And this doesn't include his caliber of a person. And so on what authority do you have to build a private security reinforcement to this magnitude? A foreigner?
Isn't it possible that the security men you met were actually there protecting the estate and not necessarily,
not
necessarily Ben Peters?
All of them are his, workers. And the statements are the police will show. I expect that the police will do their work. Because you see, we will play friends at the expense of our national security interests. And some of these things largely undermine and jeopardize the strength of our security in the country. That we sit back, we allow the activities to happen, and then we come later to cry foul. And when it happens, all we do is to rant on the media and talk and talk and talk. No private individual should be allowed to have this level of police private security reinforcement without a license. Number two, you don't have the right to use sirens. We also found a motorcade used by the police under his garage without a number plate.
When you say a motorcade, a vehicle with...
No,
or a motorbike.
A motorbike.
A motorbike.
Used for purposes of motorcades. Was parked beneath his garage without a license. That, again, is a crime. So all of these things have transpired. So the twisting of the story that Ibrahim Ahmed came to intervene and then it is a national security operation is false. The operation was clearly a distress call, and within the radius around which these things were happening was so close to the Jubilee House that you are minded to intervene. And if you had a distress call, assuming at the time he deployed his security men, there were counter private security men who had intervened, there would be casualties, and the presidency would have a cause to be worried that just around the premises of the presidency, these things were happening. And so the police carefully executed it with a reinforcement force because of the number of private security guards he placed there and the nature of the issues. National security didn't take place. National security had no role. Again,
We should be happy that a 2.5 month to 3 months old government have been able to fight crime to this magnitude. Okay? And I'll say this because when President Mahama was sworn as president, the number of crimes which came out visibly that had to be fought at are a lot.
Let's exhaust this matter. We'll go back into the other matter. So first of all, I want to find out. So the initial distress call was to the effect that this man had blocked the entrance to the.
We didn't even know it was him.
We didn't even know
someone had blocked.
So what is the story behind it, and how have you been able to resolve that particular matter?
You'll be shocked. The story is that he owned a number of apartments within the building, and that the management company of the facility gave him only one key to access all the floors. And to him, he felt that he's been receiving a lot of guests. And so it was only fair that if one person had one apartment and had an access, if he had 8, he should be given quite a number of access keys to the elevator of the building. Number 2, that because he had about 8 or 12 apartments, it was right for him to be given a unified or a centralized key.
Right.
So that he can access all his apartments. And the money could go out. All residents were standing out and watching this movie of having to block the entire access into the building. And I think there was some accident. How would you even...
So that matter, you left it with the police to handle?
It's clearly a matter that falls under the jurisdictions of the police. It has, solutions under the laws available to the police. Because road blockage is a crime. Use of sirens without authorization is a crime. You cannot build a private security force in the country, particularly when you are a foreigner, without going through the procedures of the Ministry of Interior.
So this aspect is what interests national security? Yes. The matter of the...
No, not even national security. The police.
Okay.
Which is being handled at the regional police command. Okay? And other bodies may now be interested because of the level, the number of XUVs, sophisticated vehicles we found under the building.
But that is illegal. This is a private individual. He may have bought it himself.
Well, Customs has the right to ask questions to find out, because in this country, there are many illegal things that are going on.
How many vehicles did you
saw a lot of them. You can count 20 of them.
20 vehicles, and these are, you say,
serious SUVs, Escalades, and a number of them, G-Wagons and stuff.
So this aspect, you are asking customs to go into it.
Customs will be handling that, and many other issues that may.
And the other matter about the gentleman, in possession of arms, supposedly protecting this individual. If it is a private security, our law says that they should not be armed. In this case, you found them armed.
It's a matter.
What are you doing about it?
It's a matter again for the police to establish. That is why he was granted to a bail pending further investigation. So I'm expecting that in due course, the police should be updating the country on the progress that they have made so far. I think that as a matter that concerns the national security of this country, not national security as an institution, it borders on powerful persons. And I think that the police take that very seriously to ensure that we are able to clarify what exactly the issues are, what applicable laws were broken, and whatever remedies.
But as you speak, you've not impounded any vehicle.
No,
the vehicles with sirens, the motorcade, you've not impounded any of them.
I think that at some point, the police commanders had moved a couple of them either to the police station or to police headquarters. I'm not too sure what happened, but I told them to make sure that everything that was evidential to the matter was gathered right at the scene. And so I'm sure that some vehicles were moved, particularly the pickups with the sirens. I think some of them were moved to either police headquarters or to the regional police.
So the matter hasn't ended yet?
It couldn't have ended, and it cannot end. For me, a wrong is wrong. It doesn't matter who is involved. And I have this view that these countries must begin to take the approach to ensure that we treat people equally and fairly, whether you are a poor man or you are a rich man. We cannot live in a country where we have people who claim to be powerful and above the law. The law must be seen to work, irrespective of who is involved, and particularly involves a foreigner. I believe that the right things must be done, and some of us will actually follow to ensure that the right things are done. We also don't feel that because it's a foreigner, he should be treated unfairly. So in that score, I believe that the managing company of the property would have to be invited by the police because the inconveniences was caused by some act leading to all of it. So all of these matters would have to be interrogated by the police.
But before this Ben Peters, was he on the radar of governments, of national security?
I think he was. I think...
Who exactly is he? What is this? What is he doing in the country? What kind of business is he involved in as far as national security is concerned?
We would detach this matter from other issues he has, but I think that he is because Frontiers belongs to Ben Peters. And Frontiers, in the eye of the nation, is one of the companies that President Akufo-Addo mysteriously awarded to manage this COVID operation at the airport.
They were involved in taxing.
They were involved. Yes, they were involved
in taxing travelers.
Several amount of money was taken to have been realized from that, and the nation made only small portion of it. There's a need
as per the contract.
I mean, no contract should leave the principles of the contract to lose, because if you have a contract that gave service, just testing of COVID, and you have realized close to 80-something million, and the country is making just about 9 million. I mean, you ask yourself, which kind of human beings, sign that kind of contract?
And you can't blame the businessman. You can only blame those who signed that contract.
At some point, he becomes a principal actor in what we call a scandal, because it's a serious indictment on the face of the previous government. Mysteriously, you have heard, my senior brother, Okudzeto Ablakwa, who have indicated at a time during the transition when oral have been mandated to gather some preliminary evidence on various scandals. He indicated that a search at the Registrar General does not show that Frontiers exist anymore. Mysteriously, it doesn't exist. And so all of these matters, you would agree, there are very serious matters that must be subjected to investigation.
But you also agree with me that the former transport minister appeared before a committee that was set up by the Speaker of Parliament to probe this, and he provided all the documentation around it. And it was at that instant that we got to know how much government or the state of Ghana made from the COVID testing at the airport.
Yeah.
And it was just to pay for the renting of facilities of Ghana Airport during the testing period.
Yeah, but one would say that the fact that a minister of transport, who himself is under investigation, have given some details about that, does not exhaust the matter. That some amount of money was realized, and in a proportionate distribution of that money, we believe that the nation wasn't treated fairly. Obviously, it gives a right or a cause for further investigation as to what led to all these matters, particularly that we have had a situation where many interministerial involvement in the COVID issue have had to deny. They don't know where this company came from, and as the presidency does not award contracts. And so all of these matters, they are matters that are in the public domain, either implicating the government or exonerating the government. It is only upon investigation that can give all of us the confidence to say there was some wrongdoing or there was no, a wrongdoing.
All right. So in concluding on the matter of Ben Peters, what we are telling this afternoon is that apart from his own issues with the estate company, the matter of the siren, the private individuals providing security for him, the vehicles found on the premises, these are separate matters that you are still investigating.
Yeah.
And so it is possible that when you are done with your investigation, you will decide whether to haul him before court or let him go. If there's nothing...
It will be prejudicial, but I think that the right thing will be done because...
As the president, update the nation on the next steps to be taken. Plus also his engagement with the visiting check matter. But Mr. This morning I heard you on another radio station, I don't know if my sister station, saying that you've uncovered some, illegality with the importation of goods through Aflao all the way to Accra, and this may involve some persons closer to custom. What exactly is going on?
You see, I have advocated for one thing, that every minister should change their chief directors and their directors of finance.
Why so? These are public servants. These are civil servants.
Not sack them, but change them.
Because of what exactly?
If we believe that a previous administration have done some wrongs and that they were public servants who permanently are stationed, irrespective of which government is in power, supervising these wrongs, then if you are accusing the politician, it is just so right that you look for the accomplice. And these are normally human resources.
Daily updates. We give you the best. God bless you. Na ninyina say ene Supreme Court kwa said I make no got the removal of a mame tokuno no and go forbid the court say omon penny and as omontia say emi nyini fro ba eno omo the court I just o my boy go bi am do be see ya sure state.